Hello everyone. I hope that you are all doing very well. My name is Pirouzi, and we are going to look into creating products and pricing strategies to meet customers' needs. Okay, so what are the learning outcomes for today's lecture? First, we are going to look into what is the marketing concept and relationship building. Then we are going to look into how do managers create a marketing strategy. Then what is the marketing mix? How do consumers and organizations make buying decisions? Then we'll go over what are the 5 basic forms of consumer and business market segmentations. Then we are going to look into what is a product and how is it classified. Then we are going to cover the topic on how do organizations create new products, what are the stages of the product life cycle, what strategies are used for pricing products, and what are the future needs. And then we are going to close our lecture today by looking into what trends are occurring in products and pricing. So let's go over the marketing concept. So we have 5 steps of marketing process. First of all, we need to understand the marketplace and customer needs and wants. This is why that type of activity needs to do research, and we do have several sources again on internet and on different sites like Statistics Canada in order to look into the market dynamics and what are the consumers' needs. Obviously, we do also have firms or companies where they also use surveys in order to go over different types of questions, and then they send out the surveys to different market segments or different populations that may become our future again customers, and they are going to get into, okay, where are we going, what are going to be the next trends? Are we going to have new technologies, new needs, new diseases, for example, or new needs for any type of new drugs, new vaccines, new foods, new products, anything that is again tangible or not tangible. The second step is to look into designing a customer-driven marketing strategy, where we are going to look into, okay, how we are going to be able to sell the product. First of all, we know what may be the need, and now we are going to see, okay, how are we going to make a strategy? That's what we are going to see in the next slides. Then the third step is to construct an integrated marketing plan that delivers superior value. What does it mean by integrated? It means that we're going to look into different ways to do the marketing. It's not just going and asking questions about, again, a new product, even if sometimes we may also have in our survey questions some type of questions where we are asking a question about a product that is not yet on the market. But we would say, okay, if we had this product, how would you perceive that? What would be the perceived value, or what would be the perceived need from you? We may not ask the questions from consumers or even the public directly or indirectly. We may also tell them, okay, based on what's happening now in the food industry, for example, what type of foods are you looking at? For example, the best example is, for example, cannabis, which is recent. And we may, for example, go and ask some surveys about, okay, what's the cannabis? Do you know about that? Do you know about the regulations? Do you know that this is now legal in Canada, and that we can also have medical prescriptions for using cannabis that is used in several types of symptoms and diseases? So here we may also say, okay, perfect, we understand your needs. We understand also these are possible needs for other people. How do you think that we will be able to use it, for example, in the food? How about having drinks with cannabis? Do you think that this is going to be something useful for you? So these are types of questions that we can ask. And of course, based on the survey, we are now going to look into the trends in the social perception of the value and social perception of the, I would say, the price of a product that doesn't maybe exist yet, but we know, you see, we are looking into, again, finding different, I would say, market segments, and again, it also gives us even different types of ideas regarding what is going to come. Again, here, don't forget that those consumers didn't talk about cannabis drinks, for example. We just created that. So this can be a new product that doesn't exist, But we are now talking about that. We are asking about this. And if you look into the newspapers, if you look at, again, YouTube videos, you look into, again, different types of advertisements, digital advertisements as well, not just digital, you can see them on the buses, I would say in the underground, in the TTC, different places. You will see that, yes, indeed, we are having surveys on products that do not exist yet, but we are publishing the results of, again, those surveys, and we are now in some way, again, manipulating, I would say, the perception of the society. So, of course, I'm talking about the community where we are living in. And this is another way. So doing research on things that are coming, and then to advertise that the way that it's already existing, but even if it's coming to the market, we are just going to give the idea to people to become consumers later. Then, of course, for step number 4, about the marketing process, we're looking into building profitable relationships. Profitable because it's not just one-way relationship. When we are dealing with consumers, we are providing them some services, some products that they need, and it's going to be a profitable gain, I would say, for them, and at the same time for the firm, for the manufacturing facilities, for different companies. We are also making profit because we do have a cost and we do have a profit based on the revenue that we are going to have. So this is always a win-win situation. It must always be a win-win situation. We always give the quality that our consumers need, with the highest quality and, of course, the best price, and on the other side, consumers are going to benefit from our products. Then the 5th step in the marketing process is capturing value from customers. So here, as I talked to you about in step 2 and 3, we can always look into the perception of our, again, future customers about the value and the price of a product. Now, what is very interesting is that in the last century, we have been having different, I would say, eras where at the beginning, the pricing was always set based on the cost. So we were not having any type of market research or market analysis, and to look into, okay, if we are having this product, how much would be the maximum perception of the value for our consumers, so that we may make a higher profit. And gradually over years, over, I would say, decades, we have been looking into different types of marketing where the price was always going to be again adjusted or decided based on the perception of people. So the profit would be huge, would be much greater, but that would be the price that again our consumers would be able to pay. And then here I would say we were seeing more and more companies looking into marketing planning, so looking into the perceptions of customers for the value and for the price, and then they were giving the product, while we have been also looking into the availability of the product, because we're also looking into the law of offer and demand. And then gradually we also started to look into the perception of what is a luxury. And what we see is that, yes, we do have now consumers who always associate luxury, or I would say expensive products, with the quality products, while in some other industries we do not, I would say, opt for, or we don't choose that type of strategy, and we still continue to give or to sell a product based on I would say, the cost of the production, in addition to some profit margin. But we don't look into really make a product as a luxury product, and then to again change the perception of the market through the market research and through different surveys, and again doing some type of market analysis, and then to publish those different results, and then to try to change the perception of the market, so that people would say, oh my God, yes, we know that with the survey this product is much better, this product is good, it's expensive, so we are ready to buy that, even if the cost, I would say the profit margin would be very high. But again, I will leave it to, of course, different marketing strategies and different companies, and this, because we are in a free market. Okay, so now looking into the relationship building, we need to build a relationship, and for this we will need first to understand the market. How we do this? Through surveys, through statistics, through looking at the trends. If we don't have existing trends, because no one before us has been looking into for example, some type of market trends for a new product, then we are going to look into surveys, looking into getting more data, and now it may be, of course, indirect or direct way of taking data, and then we are going to look into the trends, looking into the statistics, and then we are going to do the analysis of the data, and then it will give us a much better understanding of the perception of the society when we are talking about a product or a service. Then the second step in relationship building will be to engage people. How we engage our market segment, people who are, again, that we believe who are going to buy our service or product. This is by engaging them. How we engage them? Again, by providing them different proofs, different statistics, different testimonials about the quality of our product, different types of information that they may see or on the digital world, in the media, or of course when they are taking their bus, they are watching again, different, I would say, media, different movies on YouTube, for example, or different types of medias or advertisements on internet as well. And then we are going to engage the population. We may even prepare a population before even a product goes to the market. This is what happens, for example, with, I will give you an example of Apple products, for example. We are looking into Apple glasses for years now. Still, it is not there, but we are preparing the I would say the market or people in order to live with the fact that the idea does exist, or it will exist, and they are just expecting to have the product, and then they may even in their own minds planning into buying a product that is coming, it's not there anymore. And you don't see that only with Apple, you see that with many different types of products where again, companies, they announce in advance, I would say, a long time, I would say, before having the product on the market, they do the advertisements as well, so they engage people. Then the third step in relationship building is to measure. How we measure? Again, through research, social research, and through research analysis. How we do that? Again, we are looking into the market engagement. We are looking into to what extent people they understand or they know about our new product on the market or not. And then we are also looking into whether or not we do have our population engaged in the idea of buying a product or a service. This is where, again, I can give you the example of Samsung, all of those cell phones. We already have a cell phone, and then we know that the next one is coming in a few months, and again, another one in a few months. Same thing for the softwares. We do know that there is, for example, a software, then we have a new version. We already know the version is coming. Even for the movies, a few years ago, when many people, they were buying, videos, we were even, some companies, even they were doing the pre-sale, they were selling in advance, so consumers were buying and they were waiting their turn to receive a product. So this is how we engage, and then this is how we measure by different types of observations, again surveys, and looking into the data, and then we manage it. This is the last step in relationship building, where we manage the understanding of the population about our product. We manage their engagement by adding or removing or changing the advertisement messages, repeating the same message, but sometimes repeating a message but with different ways or different wordings, for example. And then we manage also the measure using the measurement. So we look into different market segments, different countries, different cities, different, I would say, even communities, and we are going to do some type of research analysis, but very specific to a community, where we can now do a survey in that specific community, and then we are going to look into how those communities are perceiving our product. And then, based on the measurements, we are going to decide how we are going to again, engage more the population by maybe having a new product, maybe having a new set of products, maybe by changing a name and changing slightly a product or a service, for example, or by adapting a product based on the need of the population. For example, for the flowers, you can buy flowers alone, you can buy flowers in a basket, you can buy flowers in paper, you can buy flowers with chocolate. This is always flavor, I would say flowers. However, we are now managing I would say the market. Sometimes again we have flowers for weddings, we have flowers for birthdays, we have flowers for dating, we have flowers for Mother's Day, Father's Day. Again, I don't know how many days we have in the I would say in the year, but all of these days are created, of course, or are used by marketing as well in order to increase the number of types of products, same product, but types of presentations that we are using in order to sell sometimes the same product. Now you can look into the drugs, you can look into, for example, jewelries. There are so many businesses that do the same thing. So we need to manage as well. So now let's go over how do managers create a marketing strategy. We need numbers. We need to know about perceptions. We need to know about what customers they are understanding about the product. So in step number 1, we look into understanding customers. Again, how we do this? Surveys. We ask them. Surveys in the city. They may be in a store. It may be surveys that we are sending them out, and they are going to respond back to us. And then, of course, step number 2 is to analyze. And this is where we look into the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for our product. And again, of course, when we're talking about threats, this is not just looking into competitors, but threats where a product may become old, or maybe the perception of people, they change. For example, for Coca-Cola or Pepsi-Cola, the perception has been changed. We are having less and less people who are, to my understanding, they're buying less and less Coca-Cola, but they are looking into different types of other types of drinks. Why? Because at some time people, they did some type of negative advertisement on different effects of Coca-Cola, or I would say Pepsi-Cola. Again, true or false, these are all types of education. And again, in a free economy, we cannot really, I would say, control that. And because this is, this is a democracy, and people, they have the right, of course, to talk about their perception and their beliefs as well. So this is another thing. So the competition, obviously the threats are not only competition. It may be the change in the perception of people. It may be again a new product that is coming that seems, again, the perception here, to be less expensive but with a better quality. And in this case, people are going again to have tendency to buy more from our competitors. And again, don't forget that even your own company can come up with its own another product that would compete with their existing product. So it's like, imagine that you own a Starbucks and Tim Hortons both together. So both of them, they are in competition, however, for the same market, I would say. However, you own both. And what happens is that you purchase one in order to, again, get a big market share, and then you purchase also the second company in order to get the remaining of the market share. So that's why, again, sometimes you see that some companies, they buy their competitors. And this is exactly point number 3 with the market competition. So I will not cover that. Then we do have marketing network, where we are looking into different ways that we can do the marketing. So looking into the advertisements, looking into the presentations, looking into, again, the pricing, looking into many different tools that we have in order to market or sell our product to a market. So this is what we call a marketing mix. So we are planning to see what are the different tools that we are going to use in order to market our product. This is, again, step number 5. Now in step number 6, we look into the design and the execution, where based on the trends, based on the surveys, based on the analysis that we made, we will be able to design a product. Now, a color, a name, again, I would say consistency, for if as a drug, for example, its side effects or adverse drug reactions, and then we are going to look into how we are going to have an optimal design that will meet the requirements of the majority of our market segments. Still, companies, what they do is that since their market segments may be again having I would say sub market segments as well, they look much more deeper into those market segments, so that we are not going to, we are going to miss the minimum number of those market segments or people who may be buying by offering different, the same product, but maybe with different colors, different sizes, like the shoes. Look at the Nike or Adidas. What they do is that they are selling shoes. Okay, but look at the variety or diversity in the numbers. I would say in the not just a number, but no numbers too, because sometimes they also sell something at $300-400 because we don't have enough of those shoes, or they are made especially for specific people, and then we do the advertisement by giving them to different. In different sporting events, for example. Anyways, we are attracting people by showing them that champions, for example, they use that, or those stars are using those products, and then we don't make them too much available, and then we'll be able to again play with the law of the offer and demand, and by offering less, we are going to see more demand, hence we are going to have a higher price. So these are the designs and the executions. And of course, number 7 in the marketing strategy process is to review and revise. What happens is that everything is changing in real time. We call that dynamic change. And in this case, trends are changing. We have new products. We have new needs. The technology is changing. People, of course, they always need to have some changes in the shape, or maybe in the kinds of products. Like look at the fashion. You may not see, for example, that we are very following too much the fashion. However, in many countries, people are looking into the fashion. In countries like in France, for example, not just France, in Europe, they do have a color for a specific season or a specific year. So now all of the clothes, all of these clothes are going to be designed based on the color of the year. It's very interesting. Or look at the size or the length of the ties, for example. Look into different, I would say, changes in the design for the coats, for the trousers, for for anything that we are using. You see that people need I would say, changes, updates, so we have to review and revise our marketing strategy. Perfect. So then let's look into the marketing mix. I already talked about this, of course, in a previous slide. Here we can talk about all of the elements that we are using in our marketing strategy. So one of them is the product itself, and I told you that again the product is being designed based on the trends, based on the needs. It's also it's dynamic, so it changes over time as well. We can also talk about the promotion. So for example, if you are offering product which is new, like Disney Plus, at the beginning it was free. It was free for whoever was signing for a Disney Plus, and then they said, okay, up to this time, whoever is subscribing is going to be free. And then they said, now after this date, you will have to pay $15-20 per month. So this is what they did. So that was a promotion. That was a promotion for entering the market, because at that time they were, of course, their big competitor was Netflix. And of course, nowadays we do have several other providers as well. But the promotion is very important. Then the price. The price, that's because we have to look into the market segments, and again, to even ask ourselves, can they pay that? Do they have a right perception for I would say, paying for that specific price? Do they have a right, I would say, perception of the value of the product as well? So what price people they would be willing to pay for that? And again, when we look into the life cycle of a product, so the time from when a product gets into the market until the product gets out of the market, it happens sometimes. In this case, we would say, okay, now we may have a promotion at the beginning, so the price is going to be lower. That's one strategy. And then we will see that, again, people are buying. Now we are going to be able to provide enough of those products to the market. Then the price can, again, become steady. And then we will not be able to, again, produce enough of the product while we do have, again, more and more, again, consumers. In this case, the price may go higher again. Again, it may be done artificially, or it may be done naturally. It may be, again, seen naturally, because sometimes, we do have a cap on the production. But again, sometimes it can be done as a marketing strategy, not to offer enough products as well. And then, in this case, the price, again, if it's affordable, again, if people have a high, I would say, esteem for the value, they will be able to sell. For example, nowadays, look, if you would like to buy a PC, I may tell you, okay, look, this PC is $600, the desktop. You may say this $600, okay, I'm going to buy that. But if I tell you that it's a PC at $2,600, you may say, oops, no, my God, no, I don't think so. I'm going just to buy the 600, and I'm happy. If I would like, even if it again doesn't work in 3-4 years, I'm going to buy another one. But $2,600, oh no, don't even think about that. However, if I tell you, okay, now this is an Apple iMac, for example, here, the cost is iMac at 27 inches. I may say, look, this one is at $2,600. Are you going to buy that? Now, based on the perception of the market, based on the fact that you heard that those computers, they don't stay 3 years, but maybe 10 years or 20 years, I would say 15 years, until the time that you would like to change the entire iMac, they are going to last. And in this case, you are going to look into the perception of the quality that you have from Apple products. And then you're going to look into, again, the perception of value. And then you say, yes, of course, quality and value, they are, for the quality they have, the value is justifiable and acceptable. So I'm going to buy for $2,600 a desktop, an iMac. Okay, this is what happens. And then we will look into the places and the people here where we are going to sell it, and people what are the market segments, who are, I would say, people in the market segments. And then we look into the process and the physical evidence. Process for, again, preparing the product, of course, and offering that. And the physical evidence is just to look into, again, looking into the engagement, looking into, again, the existing product, again, how this is being perceived, how many of those products are, for example, sold every year or every month or every 2 months. So looking into trends, and these are the evidences that will allow us to say, okay, we are going to continue to produce, to sell, and of course we are going also to manage the pricing. Now we are also going looking into advertisements, and then we are going to keep the product as long as we can on the market, even if sometimes your product may again be replaced by another competitor's product. But again, look into aspirin, for example, made by Bayer at the very beginning. Aspirin, has a huge, I would say, a life cycle of about maybe more than 1 century. And this is because of the market, because of its effect, because of its perceived value, and because it's not that expensive neither. So at the very beginning, of course, obviously, it was maybe more expensive. And then we started to see different generic companies for making, the chemical, of course, but the brand aspirin has always been there for more than a century. And people still now, even if the aspirin itself, its patent has expired, still the perception of buying a product from a brand name pharmaceutical company is always higher. So you will see even this for many pharmaceutical products where you will see that when they lose their patent, the patent is expired, still people have tendency to buy from a brand name pharmaceutical company. And this is why when they become, again, when generics, they also start making the copy of the product, we will still see that the market share from 100% before the patent expiry goes down to 60% of the market that will still buy the product even a little bit at a higher cost, because they believe that it has a better value. This is why even some of you, maybe you may think that generic products, they are less expensive, but they're also less effective, which is not the case necessarily, because again, for here we do have, of course, regulations asking generic companies to, of course, to test the efficacy and safety of the copy of the molecule that they are making from the brand name. So what I'm saying again here is this is an example of a product that's there for more than a century, so the life cycle is very long. It's also the example of a product that was expensive at the beginning and then its price went down, so people are now, it's more affordable. But you know what? The company is making a profit not because of the I would say the high price of the product, but they are getting the profit because of the number. It means that, you can, for example, be Louis Vuitton, or you can be Walmart. Okay, Louis Vuitton is making products, very selected products. They are not, they are not at millions of samples, I would say, or numbers in the market, and people, they are ready to pay up to $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for a bag. Okay, now Louis Vuitton is making lots of profit, but what they do is very limited. So these are limited numbers of products that they do. It's always, limited, and they make the profit based on this. So the raw materials, or even the price for making the products is much less than the profit that they make. But they do I would say the profit based on the fact that their products are not accessible to everyone. However, on the other side, we have Walmart, where they are having products. Okay, they are not going to stay, I would say, if you buy a bag from Walmart, it may not stay for 10 years, but you know that the fashion changes as well, and people, they want to change their products, or even to the face of what they use every day. But Walmart is making profit based on the number. It means that they are selling so many different products at a lower cost, but they make the profit based on the number of products that they are selling. So this is what we also need to understand. Perfect. Now, looking into how do consumers and organizations make buying decisions. First of all, and we talk about that too, we need to know about the need. What are the needs? How we do this? By the surveys, as we talk in the first or second slide today. Looking into the, we ask consumers, we look into different surveys, we go to different places, areas, we're using different media, types of media, and then we are going to look into what are the needs. And then information research is search is the second step for this type of buying decisions, where we are going to look into searching more about the product. This is why when you, for example, do some search on, I don't know, a medical device, you can just Google that, or you go to any other search engine and you Google that, and then you are going to do some type of search for the information. And then we look into the evaluation of alternatives. So consumers, they are going to look into, okay, what are the other alternatives? I'm sure you all did that. So you look into the price, you look into the availability, you look into whether or not, for example, you have to wait, or if you buy that right away, it's going to be there, in few hours, or maybe it will be delivered to your house in the next 2-3 hours. I will tell you, for example, the example is if you buy an iMac, again, another Apple product, of course. If you buy that, as of today, of course, if you buy that or say before 12, they will be able to deliver the computer within the next 3 hours. This is amazing. Okay, so this is one, and sometimes if you buy some other products, it may take 3-4 weeks before they come. So this is another way that we can, I would say, attract consumers. This is by being the best when they are evaluating different alternatives, and then when they compare us with other alternatives, they will see that no, our prices may be higher, but the quality is higher. We are faster in delivery. The product is available, and you don't need, for example, pay for the delivery because it's a free delivery. So these are all different ways that we adjust the prices. And this is how we need to shine when compared to our competitors. And of course, then consumers, they are going to make a decision based on, again, their ability to buy, the timing, the time that they need to have the product right away, or again, we may have it again in 1 month. To me, I tell you, for example, when I take my prescription glasses, I, again, since I already have one pair, I go online and then I say I'm okay if you even do it in the next month. I still have my glasses, so I'm going to pay less because I'm not really in a hurry. And this is the way that I make my decision. So now we have to look into your surveys, the questions. So when you are going to make the surveys or asking questions from different or potential consumers, you are going to look into again their need. You are going to have questions on where they are going to search for information, so that we will look into where we can post our information. Then you are going to look into what other alternatives they are going to look at. So we are also going to get into places where our competitors are there. So we are also going to be there, so that our consumers are going to also look at us as another alternative. And then how they make their decisions based on the price, the color, the availability, etc., etc. So we are also going to look into how we are going to have a marketing strategy based on the research that we did for the purchase decision. And of course, after that, consumers are going to have the post-purchase evaluation. Again, here they are going to write in different media. They are going to talk about this. They are going to, again, give some testimonials as well. And it's going to affect themselves and the way that their entourage is also going to, again, buy our products as well. Now, what are the 5 basic forms of consumer and business market segmentation? So here we have 5 bases of business market segmentations. One of them is the customer demographic. So we're looking into industry, the company size, and the location. The other one is operating characteristics. So is it based on the technology, based on the user or non-user status, or based on the customer capabilities? Another market market segmentation is based on the purchasing approach. So if there are those who are deciding for buying or not, or if they're buying for someone else or another company, then the power structure, then we look into the nature of existing power. Then we look into the general purchase policies, because again, I'm not just talking about people, but also we have different companies, corporations. They do have policies on, again, how to purchase, and then purchasing criteria. So what those segments are having as criteria for buying. We also have the situational factors like urgency. I gave you the example of buying a desktop. If you want this to be delivered to you in the next 2-3 hours to your house or to your office. We also have specific applications and the size of the order as well. Then we do have the personal characteristics of the market segmentation. One of them is the buyer-seller similarity. One of these is the attitudes toward risk. And one of them is the loyalty. I also gave you the example of the loyalty in the previous slide, where I was talking about the fact that when the people, they do a post, I would say, purchase evaluation, they will stay loyal to you. They are going to continue to buy from you, and they are also going to talk about the value of your product to their entourage or their environment. Okay, now what is a product? A product is something physical or not, a service created through a process that provides benefits to a market. Now, how a product is classified? We can look into durability and tangibility. So if we can touch a product. Now here we can look into non-durable goods, durable goods, and services. We also have, again, consumer products. These are convenience goods, shopping goods, specialty goods, and unsought goods. We can also talk about industrial goods, where we talk about materials and parts, capital products items, and supplies and services. So now, how organizations, they create new products. Again, here, this is based on So research, we need to look into the market and to do research analysis. So number one is to look into the target customer, the market segments, to do research to see who would be willing to buy that a product or what they need. Then we look into the potential market, again, those market segments. Then in step number 3, we look into competitors. So if we are having a product that is needed by consumers, in this case, who are the competitors, the actual ones? Because we need to know what they're offering, how much they are selling, and what are the, I would say, the characteristics of their products, so that by asking, again, going through the surveys, we can ask the, again, consumers, what do they need? Even if you are happy with the existing product on the market, if they were going to have a new product, similar but not identical, in this case, how they would perceive that new product that would be a perfect product for them for that use. Then step number 4 is customers' problems. So here we look into surveys. Here we are looking into what are the issues that customers they have with the existing products. And then we look into the market position. And then we look into, of course, the market share. And then we look into step number 6, the sales price. As I told you, we may have a sales price for promoting our products. So we go with the lowest price. Sometimes no, we don't go with the lower price. We really ask for a price with some, of course, I would say, a margin for the profit. And this is because of the fact that our market research, again, analysis showed that no, the market is ready to pay not a promotional price, but a price that is very, I would say, very close to our competitors' price. Then the production cost, as I told you as well, we do pay for the raw materials. We do pay for different services in order to have them. So we do have a cost, and we need to make some profit. So we always look into the production cost and the price that we'll be able to sell to our consumers. Step number 8 is to test. Of course, testing for the product, for the quality, and then we are, of course, learning from those testing. This is in step number 9. And then to iterate, it means to repeat, to look into the target customer, to look into the potential market, to do the competitors analysis, to look into customers' problem, which is also an analysis, to look into the market position, which is also, it needs analysis. What needs as well analysis here is the sales price. It's also the production cost. It's also all of the actions that we, again, that we did, that we learned from. They're all asking for analysis, and they're all different types of data. And again, we need definitely different types of analysis for these different types of information. And this is how, again, we create new products, or we improve the existing products, or we remove some products that are not anymore needed by the consumers. And this is what we'll see in the next slide, where we look into the stages of the product life cycle. This is where we see that on one side, on x-axis, you see the sales. On the y-axis, you see the time. Of course, the time may be, again, a few months, it may be a few years, or it may be, again, a few decades. And the sales is the number of sales. So we see that usually at the beginning, it takes some time before the sales are going to grow. And then when we reach the growth, growth, we will see some type of, I would say, steady, I would say, graph, where this is what we call the maturity, and then we will see a decline for the sales of a product. Again, this product life cycle doesn't apply to all of the types of products. As I gave you an example of aspirin, again, we don't have a decline of aspirin. Or I also talk about, for example, some pharmaceutical fields where they're having their patented products. Even if their patent is expired and the market is also flooded by other generic drugs, still we do have up to, I would say, down to up to 60% of the market share that will still be for the brand name pharmaceutical company, because people, they have the perception of the value and they're ready to pay more for something that they perceive as a higher value. Now, I don't go into detail of whether or not they are right or not. We are just talking about the perception and how we are doing the marketing, because when we do marketing, we are also looking into creating or changing the perception of people, perception of the value and perception of the price. Now let's go over the strategic, I would say, strategies for pricing. It's also interesting, okay? So here you see on the left the value perception. We already talked about it. And then on the top, we see the price perception. Now I give you just one example, which is on the top left side of this table, where we talk about premium, and this is to increase the price. This is where people, they have a high value, I would say, value perception, and they have a high price perception. I gave you the example of Louis Vuitton. I gave the example of Apple products, for example. They are more expensive. Just look at your cell phone, those who are having Apple. Nowadays, some of those the cost is $2,500 for a cell phone. Okay, however, you can always buy a cell phone at $80 or $100 in some computer stores. Again, you can also even add sometimes 2 SIM cards, but they are not Apple. These are other brands. And again, what is, I would say, inciting people to, or inspiring maybe the people to buy something at a higher cost or higher price is, again, their price and value perception. Now I also go to the completely opposite case, where this is at the lower, lower right side of this table. Here we look into the very low value perception and a very low price perception. Still, we have people who buy. And here we call that, of course, a bargain. And these are substantially drop price. Of course, here we drop the price in order to sell. People, they call that bargain. We always have people who buy, or they are attracted by the bargains as well. So you see here, this is going to give you the table, I would say, the different strategies for different products. But again, how we set the price is also based on the analysis of the market, based on the data that we get from the market, existing data, or the data that we do get by doing, again, research. And when we do the analysis, we will be able to say to the company that, okay, you know what, the value perception and the price perception of your product is medium compared with your competitors. In this case, we're going to give a fair value, or sometimes if you would like to do a penetration of the market, you're going to drop the price at the beginning, and then you are going to increase the price when we are going to reach, I would say, a steady market and a steady number of consumers who are buying that. And if we would like to increase the price, we'll have to also give some promotion, or maybe to keep this product in place, but we're also going to add something, an added value, so that people will be able to again increase their price perception and value perception, and then they are going to buy more. Now let's go over the trends that are occurring in products and pricing. Here we can look into, of course, again, this picture. First of all, we look into identification of prospects and customers. So we look into who is going to buy. And then we're going to look into differentiating customers in terms of, again, needs and value to the company. Then we look into interacting with individual customers. And then we look into customization. Now, how we do identify prospects and customers? By building, maintaining, and mining a rich customer database. So again, here we're looking into data. We need to do the data analysis to see who are the customers. And then how we differentiate customers in terms of need and value to company. We apply activity-based costing and calculate customer lifetime value. How we do this? Through the use of the database, through the use of surveys. We're looking into, again, the customer perception of the value and the price, and of course the company as well. Now, how we interact with individual customers? we understand customer needs, and we need to build stronger relationships. How you do that? By connecting with them. When we send surveys, we should not be those who are just asking questions and say, thank you so much, we are done with you. Not at all. We have to show to the new customers, those who are not yet there, but they are going to become new customers. We have to show them, give them information, give them, again, the information that they need based on the analysis that we did before about what they need as an information. And then we need to give them information on the production quality, on the credibility of the company. There are different ways that we can do the marketing, but based on the research that we did at the beginning. And then we need to go over the surveys. The surveys are not just for asking questions, also reminding customers that we exist. So when we are doing the surveys, we are also using the company logo on the top. We also talk about this company that is doing this type of survey, and then we can publish it. Now again, another step where people are going to see our name of the company, and they are going to see, okay, of course the company is, for example, doing this type of surveys, or maybe there's a new product. So we keep the connection with the consumers. Then don't forget that, I'm sure you see this again, advertisements, like for example, you can see Mitsubishi cars. You may not have one, okay, but you can see that we are having, every day I see 2 or 3 advertisements of Mitsubishi cars as well. And this is why, that's because they are not just showing new models, they are also showing the quality of these cars to existing customers. So when you're having customers, we look into having a database just to know them well. This is again social research. Then we look into calculating their lifetime value. This is also research, and this is social research. And we keep asking them different types of questions, different formats in different media, but they see us in the news, in the in different media. This is also an advertisement that is also keeping the connection. And then we also show some advertisements or some information in some websites, for example, so that those who are having our product, like the car, they will be proud. They will feel that, oh my God, this is a car that I have for 20 years, and now again they are building better cars. I'm happy to be one of the owners of one of these cars. This is again keeping in touch. This is also not just using market research and of course research analysis for understanding more about clients, but it's also using those tools like surveys in order to keep connected and to make those who already are consumers happy and satisfied, and to keep also their good perception of the value and the price of what they paid for, as well as attracting more customers. So my friends, now you understand very well why we are looking into doing social research, why we are looking into doing research on different market segments, different products, different needs, why we are looking into giving more and more information to the consumers through different media and everything. All of that, this is a package that we use in our marketing mix. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time for the next lecture. Have a good day.